When it comes to a well-rounded diet, protein is key. We all know that. But my next guest says the best protein source is not meat, but beans. Nutritionist Alisia Essig says that beans are the key to living a healthier, longer life, and she's here today to share some easy ways to add more beans into our daily diets. So when you're talking about healthy foods, beans pretty high up on your list, would you say?
Oh yeah, they're nutrient dense, and they not only just contain protein, but they also have folate, potassium, magnesium, among many other things. They're a powerhouse.
A powerhouse. And you know, we mentioned earlier too that in a lot of places in the world, blue zones, you call them, like beans are big. Tell me about blue zones and how they use beans.
Right, so blue zones are areas or pockets in the world where individuals live to be 100 years old and older. So they have the most centenarians, right? And they've studied these different pockets. They're in Greece, in Costa Rica, in Japan, and even in Loma Linda, California. And when it comes to diet, they all share one thing in common, and that is that beans are their main source of protein.
Wow, well there's good evidence then for us. And you said there's lots of other reasons why we should really consider beans. And the first one is that it can help us maintain a healthy weight.
Right. One of my very favorite studies ever done was when they took two different groups of individuals. They told one group to cut 500 calories from their diet. They told another group to actually add 5 cups of beans to what they were already eating. And then at the end of the studies, both groups ended up losing the same amount of weight. But the individuals who ate more beans had better cholesterol and better glucose stabilization.
Wow. Anytime someone can tell me to eat more to maintain weight, that makes me feel good. You said the second one is that it could help actually prevent diabetes.
Yes. In fact, beans are so amazing at regulating your blood sugar levels that they've even coined the term the lentil effect, which means that when you consume beans, lentils, any type of beans, that within 24 hours, within that little time zone, that it will help to regulate your blood sugar levels.
Okay, and a lot of people I know really watch those blood sugar levels, so that's good to know. The next one, these are starting to sound like a miracle food a little bit, because you say they can also help us lower our blood pressure.
Yes, they're full of potassium, and potassium is amazing because it can actually pull salt out of our bloodstream. And so beans will help to lower your blood pressure overall.
How do they do this? It seems like they're doing all these amazing things. Do you know what it is about them that is making them so beneficial for us?
Well, they are, a magical fruit that we've heard.
That's right.
And part of that is the fiber. And so some people struggle with beans because of the fiber, but in general, that fiber actually can help reduce your risk of heart disease, your risk of cancer, among many other things. But just go slow and low. So just start adding, a low amount of beans slowly so that your gut has time to adjust.
Yes, because if it's a lot of fiber at once, you could have an issue. And does this kind of apply to all beans? I mean, there's so many different kinds of beans. Are there just certain ones that are better or certain ones better for certain things?
They are all nutrient dense and packed with nutrition, so it doesn't matter. And I say mix it up because a lot of times we're used to just maybe the black beans or even the pinto beans, but there are so many other beans that we can utilize and replace in meat in a lot of our recipes.
Before we get to your next point, let's talk about a couple of those because I'm kind of like that. I'm like black beans, that's about all I do. So do you have some other ones that you would suggest for us to throw into our diets?
Yes, yes. In fact, in most recipes that I cook, instead of using ground meat, I'll use lentils. Lentils are really easy to just replace in like a lasagna, for example, that you're already making. You can use lentils instead. Or I also like red lentils in pasta sauces. They kind of help to thicken it up and make it a little bit more nutrient dense in that sense.
So if I'm at the grocery store and I'm looking for these lentils you speak of, what am I looking for in packaging?
Yes, these right here.
Okay.
These are lentils. So they'll be in a bag usually. They also will come in cans, but lentils are just smaller and they're a lot easier for people to digest because the smaller the bean, the easier on your gut. So if you're looking to incorporate more beans, I would start with lentils.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And pretty easy to prepare.
Yes, just boil them like pasta. It's really easy.
And also I understand you sometimes will use chickpeas instead of chicken?
Yes, yes. Chickpeas are awesome and they go really well in a lot of your typical chicken recipes, like a chicken salad sandwich, or even just like a curry that you make with chicken usually, or a tiki masala. You can use chicken, or you can use chickpeas instead of chicken.
Wow, and I've thrown chickpeas like in salads, but if you're completely replacing the chicken, I mean, do you have kids? How are they feeling about this?
Yeah, it takes time to adjust for sure, but you get used to it. And I think if you are used to flavoring meat, you just need to flavor the beans the same amount. You know, you don't want to just throw them in. You want to add that flavor, those spices, a little bit of salt, and make sure that it actually tastes good. Just like you wouldn't just give your kid a plain chicken breast with nothing on it.
Sure. Okay, good advice. Okay, the next one, you say it can also help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Yes.
Heart healthy.
Heart healthy. Again, they are full of fiber, and so they can help really regulate a lot of the reasons why heart disease is the #1 killer in America. And so when we eat beans, our gut microbiome produces what's called short-chain fatty acids when we consume them, and those will go throughout our body and help reduce your risk of heart disease, #1, along with cancer and other of those chronic diseases.
Again, really a magical thing.
Are magical.
What's your favorite way to prepare beans? You've told us a couple ways that you replace, but how else do you like to prepare?
You know, I do a big mix. I go from dry beans to canned beans. I mix it up. It depends on how much time I have. Sometimes I'll cook them in the Instapot and make a big batch of beans beforehand, or I'll just use canned beans when I'm in a hurry. And honestly, it saves me a lot of money when I'm cooking, as well as time. If I'm just in a pinch, I'll open up a can, add the sauces and seasonings, and it's a quick dinner.
Yeah, and we've been showing all these great examples that you brought for us, where you've just replaced the normal meat protein that we would think of with a bean. Okay, this is giving me some excitement. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it.
You can do it.
Talk to us about where we can find more from you if we want more of this great advice.
Yes, so I'm on Instagram, PlantWise, because I like to teach the why behind eating more plants. So it's WHYS, PlantWise.
Okay. We'll look for you on social.
Thank
you so much. We're all going to be eating more beans, I think, because of you.
Slowly.
Slowly.